Okay, when you're multiplying, make sure you multiply underneath the radicals together and the numbers outside the radicals together before you start simplifying. So I'm going to multiply 5x to the 5th times 40x to the 7th. And then I would get the square root of 200x to the 12th power. So I need to simplify the square root of 200. So the biggest perfect square that goes into 200 would be 100, and the square root of 2. And square root of 100 is 10. And then I've got the leftover square root of 2. X to the 12th, if I have 12 x's, that means I'm going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm going to have 6 groups, so I'm going to have x to the 6th. And just so it looks a little bit nicer, let's write it as 10x to the 6th square root of 2 for your final answer. Number 10. So I've got a coefficient for both of these radicals. I'm going to multiply those together first. That's going to give me -6. And then underneath my square roots, I'll have 6x squared and 3x, which gives me the square root of 18x. This has a 1 here, so that'd be to the 3rd power. So now I just need to simplify this. The square root of 18 would be the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. And the square root of 9 is 3. And there is that -6 down in front. And then if I look at my x's, I have 3 x's, which means I'm going to have one group of 2. So my final answer would be -18x to the 1st power. And then my leftover square root of 2 square root of x for your final answer. Number 11, we've got a number outside, which means I am distributing. There's not 2 sets of parentheses, just 1. So I'm taking the square root of 2 times the square root of 32, which is the square root of 64. And I take the square root of 2 multiplied by 4 square root of 5, and I get 4 square root of 10. And we got to make sure we're simplifying these things. Square root of 64 is 8, plus 4 square root of 10. And that is our final answer. We cannot add the 8 and the 4 together. All right, moving on to number 12. Number 12, we are doing either the box or the FOIL method, because I've got 2 binomials multiplied together. So I've got 3 square root of 5 plus the square root of 6, and I've got 3 square root of 5 minus the square root of 6. So I'm going to multiply 3 squared of 5 times 3 squared of 5, which gives me 9 times the square root of 25, which is really 9 times 5, which is really 45. And we'll take 3 square root of 5 times the square root of 6. That would give me 3 square root of 30. Same thing, I'm taking the negative square root of 6 times 3 square root of 5. That would give me -3 square root of 30. And lastly, I've got negative square root of 6, square root of 6. That gives me negative square root of 36, which is -6. So now I just go ahead and combine my like terms. I've got 45 and -6. When I add those together, I get 39. And if I add together -3 square root of 30 and 3 square root of 30, that actually just goes away. So your final answer is 39. Number 13 is another box or FOIL problem. So I've got 6 plus the square root of 7, 5 plus the square root of 7. Multiplying our boxes together, we will get 5 times 6, which is 30. 5 times the square root of 7, 5 square root of 7. Square root of 7 times 6 would be 6 square root of 7. And square root of 7 times square root of 7, which is the square root of 49, which equals 7. So I can go ahead and combine my like terms. 30 plus 7 gives me 37, and 6 square root of 7 plus 5 square root of 7 will give me 11 square root of 7. And then number 14, this little 2 up here really means I'm taking this square root of 2 minus 6 and I'm multiplying it by itself. So we are doing the box or the foil method on this one. And let's multiply these things together. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which equals 2. Square root of 2 times negative 6. Negative 6 square root of 2. Negative 6 times the square root of 2 is negative 6 square root of 2. And negative 6 times negative 6 would be positive 36. I'm going to add 2 and 36 together. That would give me 38. And then add your negative 6 square root of 2, negative 6 square root of 2 to give you negative 12 square root of 2 for your final answer.